Well, good morning and welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder, and this is BRN AM for Wednesday, May 6th, 2020. Here are our top stories. The Bay Staters feel the pandemic impact and empowering citizens and improving financial education in the Bay State. Well, joining me now to discuss this and a lot more is Elena Van Tassel. She is the Deputy Treasurer and also the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Empowerment in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Elena, thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeffrey.
Well, it's great to see you. And I want to talk about all the great work that you and the Commonwealth are doing with financial literacy and financial empowerment, which is so important. But I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about how the Commonwealth is reacting and how the locales within the Commonwealth are reacting to this pandemic. So let's start with that. How are people doing in Massachusetts?
Well, I think just like everywhere, everybody's adapting, everybody's lifestyles changing. With the onset of COVID-19, we're all, we're all working in this new normal. I'm doing this video from home, and downstairs, my 6-year-old son is doing his Google Classroom. So, we're all, I think, adapting our lifestyles to this, to working from home, getting used to a lot of Zoom meetings. And, obviously there's just been a lot of changes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned you're a parent. I have to think that parents are really challenged right now because if they're fortunate enough to retain their job and work from home, because we have over 25 or 26 million people that are unemployed that we know of, they have to juggle being a parent as well as providing for the family and running the family. That's got to be very challenging.
It absolutely is challenging. I think that, parents are, they're trying to do their jobs, but at the same time to educate, and making sure that their kids are okay while they're staying home under this, during COVID-19. At the same time, too, making sure they're being educated. I can say in my home, we have video. There are times when there's a Zoom meeting going on and a video classroom. And we're trying, my son's 6 years old, so we're trying to get him to understand why when his friends sometimes walk by, we can't go over and say hi to them. We can only say hi to them from a distance. And depending on the age, people are, educating their children differently. And so we're really just trying to balance everything. And I think like so many other families, we're really just kind of taking it one day at a time, and we're all just really working together during this pandemic.
Yeah, and absolutely. And my hat's off, obviously the first responders and the healthcare workers and people out there. And then I got to give a lot, I'm not a parent, but giving parents credit for juggling all these things. It's amazing. Let's also talk about small business. They're the lifeblood of the American economy. Many great small businesses in the Commonwealth, from restaurants to hair salons to all different types of businesses. How are they responding to the challenges that have been brought to bear?
I think small businesses across the country, this is a very tough time for small businesses. In Massachusetts, we have a stay-at-home order that was extended yesterday until May 18th. And I think many small businesses are waiting for some direction on what it's going to look like when we are able to reopen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are a lot of people that are kind of waiting. Obviously, they understand the necessity of being at home because you don't want to spread this virus to anybody. At the same time, trying to juggle what we were talking about before, which is the financial aspects, their own lives, their children, their parents, etc. So let's talk about the Office of Empowerment or Economic Empowerment, and let's talk about maybe what's happening in the short run, trying to deliver empowerment. These are obviously very challenging times financially for many Americans. How are you all responding to this endeavor?
Sure. So the Office of Economic Empowerment, one of the things that we work on is financial education, like so many other state treasurers' offices. We typically this is April. We're filming this in April, and it's Financial Literacy Month. And usually we have a number of in-person programs that we're doing, and we were not able to do that this year. As an alternative, what we were able to do was launch a lot of digital programming and digital resources and tools so that residents, while they're at home, are able to access the information that they need. We also launched a webpage that is about COVID-19, has information on applying for unemployment, how to avoid fraud and scams, and also additional financial education tools that families can do while they're at home.
And how do your citizens access that? Is it through the Treasurer's website, the digital content? Is it through the Treasurer's website, or can you go through the local PBS station as an example to get that information?
It's through our website, mass.gov. So if they Googled economic empowerment, we'll bring it right up to our main page on the state website, and it's actually the first thing that you see is our COVID-19 resources. We also have another platform called My Financial Life MA, and that also has resources and tools as well too. So that's myfinanciallifema.com.
Yeah, we'll certainly put that. Hopefully, people are seeing this in the graphics as we're chatting. Well, Elena, I want to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about what the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is doing now and also what it has plans for in the future with respect to financial literacy and financial wellness. So stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
The windows on our homes, they protect us and the ones we love, but they do much more. At Renewal by Andersen, making your home more comfortable is at the center of every window we make. It's why we custom build our windows in America and install them in as little as 1 day. It's why we build our frames with exclusive Fibrex composite material that's 2 times stronger than vinyl. It's why our glass helps keep your home warmer in winter, cooler in summer, and quieter all year long. It's why we stand behind every window with a 20-year limited warranty. Why not help lower your energy costs while giving your home and family the best? Call 1-800-835-6525 to schedule a free in-home consultation. Buy one, get one at 40% off with this special offer. Plus, get special financing with no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 1 full year. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window. Call 1-800-835-6525 now.
Welcome back. We're talking to Elena Van Tassel. She is the Deputy Treasurer for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Elena, thanks so much for sticking around with us this morning.
No, thank you for having me.
So we talked about all the challenges and so many Americans, including those in the Commonwealth, going through this. And we talked a little bit about that it is Financial Literacy Month. And before all this happened, your office, the Treasurer's office, everyone in the Commonwealth really focused on financial literacy, financial wellness. So before all this, what were some of the plans? What are some of the initiatives that you had taken on? And then what are you thinking about post-pandemic?
Sure. We normally have a number of in-person programming. We run senior fraud and prevention workshops at senior centers and councils on aging. We were also planning a number of women's financial summits that would focus on financial education geared towards women. We also have additional programming that are geared towards members of the military community as well, too. We also offer a grant program to local high schools they're called Credit for Life fairs, where students take on a salary and a budget, and they have to make real life decisions. It's actually one of our more popular programs. And what we were able to do, that's a partnership that we do with the Massachusetts Division of Banks, and we were able to extend the grants for that program into next school year so that
Great.
Schools have a lot more flexibility. What we did was, as we saw that we were not going to have a lot of our in-person programming, we wanted to make sure that we were still getting information out to seniors and women, as well as other groups across Massachusetts. And just a few weeks ago, we launched Money Talk Tuesdays. Every Tuesday at noon, we're having a webinar focused on different financial topics. We're working with the Massachusetts Financial Planners Association. And so we're really presenting a lot of the topics that we would do in person in that format. Our first one was focused on women. We were planning on ones for seniors. We actually had one yesterday about veterans. This is something we're planning on doing into the future. And then we're hoping, we obviously can't predict the future in terms of when we're going to be able to offer in-person programming,
Sure.
But we very much are hoping that we're able to do so, perhaps in the fall. We honestly don't know, but when we do, we're hoping to be able to offer locally the Women's Financial Summits and continue talking to seniors in person.
Yeah, and I mean, this is really obviously very important. We need to empower people, get people to be financially secure and independent into their age years. And I love the fact, just personally, that you are engaging young people, because I feel like that's an amazing place to start. Deputy Treasurer, how do we focus? Are you now doing some planning post-pandemic? Obviously, so many Americans, they don't have they don't have emergency savings. And so therefore, they may be really focused on the short term, putting food on the table, managing their homes, their mortgages, paying the rents and mortgages. Have you and the team given any thought to doing programming or anything around kind of that recovery, that aspect that we're all going to be facing once things return to some level of normalcy?
That's something that we're absolutely talking about internally. I think that we still don't know what the new normal is going to look like. We're still planning. Right now, we're really actively working on getting resources to residents that they're going to need right now during this pandemic. So we really are trying to, like I said, continue to offer our digital tools and resources. We're finding that there is a lot of interest in continuing to do that. For the time being.
And you're the Commonwealth is one of 50, or the state of Massachusetts, or the Commonwealth is one of 50 great states, and there are 50 or more treasurers, I guess, if you think some of the territories. And this is an important topic for not only the treasurers, you and the treasurer in Massachusetts, but also across the country, right? I mean, this is a big financial literacy, financial wellness, top of mind for everyone out there.
Absolutely. This is a big topic for state treasurers. Treasurer Goldberg, the treasurer of Massachusetts, she's actually the president of the National Association of State Treasurers. And we actually talk, we have, there's a financial education and empowerment committee that meets and it talks about best practices across the state. And so if residents outside of Massachusetts are looking for resources or tools, their state treasurer's office is a great place to turn.
That's awesome. Well, Elena, thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning. Stay safe and best of luck to you and the folks in the Commonwealth. We look forward to having you back on the program very soon.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I hope I hope everything is well with you.
And that wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest or someone you think we should talk to? Drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the news in retirement markets, technology, personal finance, and more, check out today's edition of The Morning Pulse. So until tomorrow, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
Attention! The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has officially authorized new benefits that Medicare Advantage plans may include. To get the benefits you deserve, you can call the Medicare Coverage Helpline.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. If you're on Medicare, this is important information. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline and they instantly looked up my coverage. In this one simple call, they offered to enroll me in a plan that includes rides to medical appointments, private home aides, doctors and nurses' visits by telephone, and even home-delivered meals. The plan also includes dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage, all at no additional cost.
Don't delay. Call to see if the new benefits are available in your area.
Call the number on your screen now. It's free.
Call 1-800-757-1451. That's 1-800-757-1451.